welcome to all the One Piece fans. Today I'm going to be sharing my reaction highlights of episode 48 and 49 of One Piece. Okay, so you may be wondering what happened to episode 46 and 47. So someone said that they could be considered filler episodes. So I know that they're not really fillers, but I posted a poll and asked, do you guys want me to post reactions to them or just go on straight to the next two episodes, which is 48 and 49. And most people said that I should skip those two episodes, and by skipping I don't mean I'm not going to watch the episodes. It just means that I'm not going to be posting reaction highlights of those episodes. What I did was I watched episode 48 and 49, uploaded it for patrons, and while it was uploading I took some chill time and watched the other two episodes in my own time while I was doing my hair. And as you can see, it's blue. So yeah, while I was doing all of this, I was watching episode 46 and 47 in my own time. I'll always watch fillers in my own time, and I'll always share my thoughts on those episodes. But more often than not, I think that my notes for those kind of episodes will be shorter because they don't always deal with, main story stuff. All of that being said, I want to get started with my reaction highlights. So today's shout out goes to 3 absolutely amazing patrons who have really gone out of their way to support me this month. Zagrash, Mickey, and William. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for helping me, really going the extra mile to support my dreams. I did reach out to you 3 personally and talk to you guys, and I really love that. I love that I get to talk to you guys personally. Just, you know how appreciative I am. This video today is dedicated to you guys. I know you've already seen the full reaction, but I hope that you enjoy the review at the end. Thank you everyone for being here, and enjoy the video. Thank you. Oh fuck, it's gonna end soon, isn't it? Oh fuck. Damn. It's only really getting started now, but it was nice to see. The first episode was great, and it was really nice to see in the second episode Zoro get his swords and hear a little bit of the lore behind them. But I definitely, when I'm editing, I'm gonna write down all those freaking names and shit, because it's really interesting, and I wanna I wanna feel that same what's the word, respect. I just need to know the names, because right now I'm a little bit overwhelmed with the 21 and the 12 and the 50 and the da-da-da. So yeah, I'll write that down. Okay, let's take a look at my notes for these episodes. I think I have about 10 pages. It's a lot, and I had a lot to say. And I'm actually really excited to share these notes because there's some things that I talk about that, I don't know, it really excites me to share these things with you. So I hope that you enjoy listening to my thoughts. For those of you that don't know, I write these notes while I'm editing my reaction highlights. So it's very conversational. I write as if I'm talking to you guys as we're watching, Okay, so I watched episode 48 and 49 and uploaded that for patrons. Then went back and watched episode 46 and 47 in my own time while doing my hair. Logue Town, the place where Gold Roger was born, is called the town of the beginning and the end. So this part I already posted on my community tab, but I'm just going to read through it again. That could be interpreted as the town where he was born and where he died. But it's also the beginning of Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, Sanji, and Nami's journey. They are officially Nakama now and are all off to the Grand Line together. So this is kind of the official start of their journey, the beginning. Could this also be where their journey will come to an end in Logtown, because it's called the town of the beginning and the end? As a writer, I think it's kind of, wouldn't it be kind of poetic to call the town, you know, the town of the beginning and the end? It could mean a lot of things, but I don't think that name was chosen for no reason. It might not be this reason, their journey might not end here, but I'm just saying it would be very poetic. It's possible. It's plausible. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if One Piece was actually in Logtown all along. Before his death, Gold Roger said it's in that place. He never specifically said his treasure is at the Grand Line. That place could be the bar named after him, the bar Luffy walked into, as fate would have it. I know that some people have pointed out though that that was filler. It doesn't really matter to me. The bar, Logtown, whatever, my idea remains the same. I don't know much about Gold Roger's history yet, or what kind of person he was, or the beliefs he had. Although I can make assumptions based on the little I've seen today, and by today I mean in the episodes. So this is just my guess after watching these 4 episodes. Gold Roger, the Pirate King, what did treasure really mean to him? Was he like Buggy, who only saw treasure as gold and jewels? Or was he more like Luffy, who considers his hat from Shanks his treasure? I guess only time will tell. So this is also interesting in terms of episode 46 and 47, when Buggy ends up on that island with Gaimon, and Gaimon refers to as the animals as treasures, and Buggy's like, the fuck? They're not gold and jewels, they're not treasures, you know. So it's kind of like hinting at this idea, what is treasure really? I'm not saying that One Piece is gonna be, you know, crazy animals or a hat. I'm just saying, are we gonna find out one day what does treasure mean to the Pirate King, Gold Roger? I highly doubt, and I think I do mention this, and I'll read through it anyway. I highly doubt that for him, treasure is just going to be gold and jewels. I don't think that when they find One Piece, it's just going to be gold and jewels. And I'll explain more later when it comes to Gold Roger's death as well. To summarize, I made 2 points here. The first being my guess that One Piece is actually hidden in Logtown and not in the Grand Line. Although they may find some clues in the Grand Line, it could be like a treasure map or a scavenger hunt kind of thing that will eventually lead them back to Logtown. The second point is that I don't know yet whether One Piece will be a physical treasure, Buggy's idea of treasure, or whether it will be something more sentimental. Like, I don't think it's going to be a lesson that they're going to learn, but I mean, it could be something sentimental, like a special kind of treasure, like some kind of, like 100 devil fruits that never age, like they don't get old. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, it could be so many things. And it could be something more sentimental. The most likely case is that it's both, something valuable and something sentimental. Clearly he had wealth, and that has to be hidden somewhere, but I have a hard time believing that One Piece, the One Piece, will only be, you know, general things like, oh wow, gold and jewels. Like, any pirate could amass gold and jewels. We've already seen Nami's huge pile of gold and jewels and money. I just think that One Piece is going to be more than that. I'm not saying not also that, but even more. Okay, so episode 46, following the Straw Hat, Little Buggy's Big Adventure, and episode 47, You've Been Waiting for It, The Return of Captain Buggy. So these notes are very to the point. I really liked seeing Buggy's tenacity and laughed a lot during episode 46. I think episode 46 might have been reaction worthy, or at least fun to watch with me, but episode 47 I would think would have made a boring reaction. I was really surprised but happy to see Gaimon and all the animals again. I loved when Gaimon and Buggy were talking about meeting Luffy and neither of them realized they were talking about the same people. And now I remember when watching episode 45 at the end, I immediately recognized Alvida's ship. But the person inside definitely didn't look like Alvida at first. But they have the same basic design. Black wavy hair, red lips, and the same hat as far as I remember. I think that hat with the feather on top. I'm a little confused about her at this point because she never actually said her name in either episode, and I didn't see any crew members on her ship. I'm about to rewatch my first One Piece reaction just for a refresher about Alvida and her crew. And then I watched the video and I said, now watching the video back, I don't think it's the same ship. There are also hearts on it, but it's completely pink. And now I can't remember if the woman's ship in episode 46 and 47 is also pink. Maybe this isn't Alvida, maybe it's like her sister or something. But I do think it's Alvida because when Sanji thinks about seeing her, I think it was in episode 48 or 49, I think it was 49, she has that same club that Alvida had. So it's 100% Alvida, but I'm going to read my notes to you anyway, what I was thinking at this time. Because I only saw that picture again with her mallet thing while editing. That episode 49, but this was still before I started editing. This was just my notes after watching 46 and 47. This is Alvida from my first video, my first reaction. This little screenshot of just her eye, it's from that episode 1. It looks like the woman that saved Buggy, but that woman doesn't sound like the same Alvida from episode 1. So either these two women are sisters, or it's the same woman and she got some kind of devil fruit power after meeting Luffy for the first time. Or she just did some kind of total body makeover, but damn, did she even get taller? Her voice changed. I'm thinking this is Alvida for sure. I just don't know how the heck did she change so much. Lastly, I kind of enjoyed seeing Buggy's crew realize they actually love and respect him, saying at first they thought he was so cruel, but now they see that he helped them become who they are. Something like that. I liked seeing their reunion, and I enjoyed seeing Buggy fight to rescue his men, although Buggy's moves are not nearly as entertaining as any of these Straw Hats moves, not that I've seen much from Nami yet. Fun fact that I didn't notice while watching, but I did read about this. At the start of Moji and Kabaji's fight in episode 47, one of the Buggy pirates that support Kabaji, I don't know how to say his name, appears showing his middle finger, being the first time in the anime that this gesture is shown. So this guy here showed him his middle finger, and it's funny because I've never seen an anime character do like, and I actually love, like I really like swearing, and I feel it's really cathartic, I don't know how to say that word, but it's really, it feels good and it helps a lot in certain situations. I don't believe in swearing at people, but I do believe in swearing, and this is also very like therapeutic, like and yeah, I do it a lot. Anyway, episode 48, the town of the beginning and the end, arrival at Logue Town. I feel like with these two episodes, I'm starting to get to know the characters more as people. I mean, of course I know they are not real, but I love seeing them all go their own way and do day-to-day things, like I mentioned, getting to know them a little bit more on a personal level. For everyone here, I think it's important to remember, and I'm talking about you guys, that we all have different tastes in people. That's why we make friends with different people. I'm sorry, I know I've mentioned this before, but I do get a little defensive about these things because in the past with reactions, I've had people personally attack me, personally, not just saying arbitrary things, but like attack my personality and who I am just because I don't like their favorite characters. Sometimes the thing I don't like about a character is the same thing that you do love about them, and that's normal. It's personal taste and nothing more than that. I just want to point this out because if I roll my eyes at a character or I say I don't like something about them, I don't want anyone to get offended by that. It would be like me getting offended if you say I don't like dark chocolate because it's too bitter. Like that is a personal reason, that is how you feel, and that's your taste. Imagine me getting really offended and being like, what the fuck? What, you're so tasteless, you're so primitive, you're like caveman, doesn't appreciate dark chocolate and bitterness of it, and like imagine me getting personally offended like that and attacking your taste in chocolate. Like, it makes no sense, it's so stupid. And now that this is off my chest, I'll try and not talk about it again in the future, but I am a little bit defensive about it. I realized that because of past reactions and how it's affected my enjoyment of the anime during that time. Okay. The reason I wanted to say this is just so that I feel safe about being honest about my personal feelings towards some characters. Like in this episode when Nami talked to Zoro, about about loaning him money, and it's like she almost delights in exploiting him. First of all, I do respect what she did for her village, of course, and I'm really happy that she has all the money that she has. I love seeing a female character be really good with money and having a lot to spend and not having to rely on anyone to take care of her. Plus, I also totally believe that you shouldn't loan money to friends or family without having an agreed upon plan of how they'll pay you back. I do believe those things. Expecting interest on your loan is also not unreasonable. But I think expecting him to pay her back 3 times as much, plus just the way that she undeniably delights in this exploitation, is just not what I call being a good friend, especially considering he literally put his life on the line to save her village just a couple of episodes ago. So yeah, that just really irritated me, and I had just started liking her, and then this just put it, nah. It's fine if you think I'm overthinking something that's just meant to be a funny joke, but thus far the story has been extremely well written, and as I've mentioned before, I love to do character studies and talk about stories in depth. You will see this in these notes. This is just the way that I am going to be looking at things all throughout this anime, and this is why I take my time with it. If there are people that don't like that, then I'm just not the reactor for them, and that's fine. There are different reactors because people enjoy spending time and watching anime with different kinds of people. It's the whole chocolate situation all over again. Dark chocolate. My first impression of Smoker was a good one. I love that he said, "I'll take care of it at my own pace." That calm and confidence and Nyea's badass demeanor definitely contributed to me liking his character a lot. When the little girl walked into him with her ice cream, I actually expected him to react the way he did. I felt like we've seen enough awful Marines by now, and I just knew that this character was going to be a good one, and that's what I still feel. Compared to Marines like Nezumi and Full Body, I definitely am getting a better vibe from Smoker. He also said, 30 million, huh? That's something I'd love to see, but when asked to repeat what he said, he kind of brushed it off. I feel like that points to something about his character or history, I just don't know what yet. Like, I don't think, why would that part be in there? Why did he say 30 million, huh? That's something I'd like to see. It could be, maybe he said that because he's never seen a pirate or fought with a pirate that was worth, like his bounty was 30 million. So maybe he wasn't talking about the 30 million belly. Maybe he was talking about, I can't wait to see, or that's something I'd like to see. Maybe that something was the pirate who has a 30 million bounty. Maybe it's that. I'm thinking it was that. Okay, Tashigi. I should have made a mental note of this name when Smoker asked, "Where's Tashigi?" If I had done that, maybe I would have guessed beforehand that the girl Zoro kept bumping into was Tashigi, but I didn't. Didn't click it at all. Oh, this moment was adorable when he said, "Looks like my pants ate your ice cream." It was so nice. I really like him. Smoker mentioned that he didn't need to use his devil fruit power to fight Luffy, so the rumor that the shop lady told Nami about him having special powers is definitely true. When fighting the random pirates, are they random though, or will we see them again later? At the harbor, either his body produces smoke and he's able to fight them more easily while hidden, or what I'm thinking is more likely, his body actually turns into smoke and he can somehow fight them in that form. The reason I think this is more likely is because in an episode of Bleach that I recently watched, it's somewhere earlier than 178 because that's where I am right now, Uryu, a character, fights a guy whose body turns into smoke, and yet he can still physically attack Uryu somehow. I think it's explained in the episode, but I don't remember the details of how it works. So I'm thinking maybe that's a similar power to what Smoker has. Like maybe his body can turn into smoke. It's either that or his body produces smoke. I don't know. Luffy mentions Fusha village when talking to Smoker. Is that what his village is called, where he comes from? Because I don't remember the name or remember hearing the name Fusha at all. Or did I forget about it? If you guys can let me know. I wouldn't consider that a spoiler if you let me know it is Luffy's village or it isn't. I don't know. Okay, you guys can tell me. Why does Tashigi look so much like Kuina? And here is where my notes digress a little bit, but it is still so much fun to think about, and I hope you enjoy thinking about this with me. To be honest, I'm thinking this is just a coincidence and doesn't have any deeper meaning to the plot of the story. There really are people in the world that just look a lot alike and even have the same energy or vibe. Could this have something to do with reincarnation? Not referring to in the anime specifically, but just in general, that belief. Kuina died around the age of 10 or 11, so it's not likely that Tashigi is her literal reincarnation, but maybe it has something to do with soul archetypes or something. An archetype is a very typical example of a certain person or thing. In Jungian theory, so Jung was a psychologist or something, but anyway, in Jungian theory, an archetype refers to a primitive mental image inherited from the earliest human ancestors and supposed to be present in the collective unconscious. So collective unconscious is the key word there, in my opinion, or key phrase. If you want to read more about this, you can check out this website, and here's a little, you can click the link here. The notes to this link, the link to these notes will be in my description or pinned comment. I only just skimmed through it, so I don't know how good the information is, but essentially I'm just curious whether Oda believed in this theory and if Tashigi and Quina may be an example of it. I'm sure if I did some research, I could share a lot more on the subject and make some interesting theories myself. Could Quina and Tashigi be soul related and not necessarily blood related? Can souls even be related at all? Essentially, I believe in that whole concept of, we are one, we come from the same source. But here's an analogy. Just like you are related to your sister who you know and see every single day, like she's right there, she's your sister, you're physically related. Technically you're also related to people on like the opposite side of the world who you and none of your immediate family have ever met before. For example, I recently did a DNA test, and although I was born in South Africa and my parents were born in South Africa and their parents were all born in South Africa, I don't know how far back that even goes, but like far back, my ethnicity estimate was actually 93% European. I may be related to someone like I've never met before that was born in Europe and their parents were born in Europe and their parents were born in Europe, like I don't know. This could be the case for Quina and Tashigi. Tashigi sounds like a Japanese name, and I'm pretty sure someone told me that Zoro is Japanese, so it's likely that Quina was too, right? It could be that, like something, I don't know how to explain all of that, but it could be that, or if you believe in souls and the afterlife, maybe Quina and Tashigi are closely related in terms of their souls. I know that sounds a little crazy and I wish I could explain it better, but I know my notes are already starting to get way too long. Let me just talk about one more thing or concept that I don't really know much about, although I find it so interesting and it could be relevant here. Have you ever heard about twin souls? This is not the same thing as the concept of a soulmate. Some people refer to this as twin flames, but I don't like the romantic connotation attached to that concept. Twin souls, I imagine, is like being a twin sister, but instead of being born from the same physical person, the same mother, into the same physical space, you're just born from the same pre-existing soul. This makes it sound like I believe souls somehow procreate, but that's not exactly what I think. Why are new souls born at all? That I can't tell you. Maybe something spiritual happens in the world and then a new soul or souls is born from that energetic experience. Like imagine a world, a place, a city. Why are you and I born into, like, why wasn't I born in Europe? I'm 93%, my ethnicity is European. Why was I born here? And yeah, you could say, oh, this and this and this and this, because our ancestors moved, and you can think of the physical history and you can pick it apart and make it factual, but you have to consider fate, and One Piece mentions that fate. Why was I born to my parents? Why was I born with the skills I have and all this kind of, like, yeah, you can science it down, but I'm talking about more than science here. I'm one of those people that believe, science and religion, science and spirituality, they're very closely linked together. It's like two ways to understand the same thing in a way. So yeah, I do think everything can be scientifically explained, even though we don't always have the concepts or tools to measure things scientifically. I think science and spirituality is one and the same. I say that lightly, but if not one and the same, very closely working together, like two kinds of laws of the universe working closely together, like, you know what I'm trying to say? But anyway, I could daydream for hours and go into more depth on this theory and which of my beliefs all of this stems from, but like I said before, my notes are probably starting to get too long and I should just write a book one day about all my thoughts. But that's what Oda did. He decided, like, he wrote this. Like, I'm joking and saying I'm thinking way too much and maybe I should just write my own book about all these thoughts and things. But Oda did write the story. So he decided to write a story, One Piece, and fill it with all of his own hopes, dreams, wildest fantasies, and even some of his core beliefs, and use it as a way to express his own understanding of humanity, morality, history, and spirituality. I really like the idea of that. When someone is writing a story, isn't it inevitable that that's going to happen? Like when you write a story, you draw from your own experiences, beliefs, wants, desires, same thing, everything. So isn't it going to happen inevitably anyway? I don't know. What do you think? In Zoro's own words from episode 49, I guess there's many weird things in this world. So it's interesting to think about. And maybe Kuina and Tashigi, maybe 200 episodes from now, we find out they're sisters. I don't know. We never saw Kuina's mother. Maybe it was her and her mother moved away. And then that's Kuina, it's actually Kuina's older sister. It's always been like, I don't know that. Maybe that's even the thing. But I thought about all this, and I thought about twin souls, and it was fun to think about. And like Zoro said, I guess there's many weird things in this world. Anyway, moving on. A few people told me that the bar scene in the episode was just filler. It doesn't really make a difference about the theory I mentioned earlier. I still think One Piece could be in Logue Town, even if it's not in that bar specifically. Of course, by now the rest of you could have made 100 more theories about exactly where this treasure could be, based on all the information you've gained. But I wouldn't know how valid or invalid my theory is at this point, since I've only watched up to here. People that dispute my theories based on their knowledge from where they are in the anime are absolute assholes in my opinion. Like seriously, please let me have and enjoy my own journey and thought processes. I really don't want to have to turn off comments on my videos like I was forced to do in my Attack on Titan videos. So like I don't think it's fair that you guys, not you specifically, but some people dispute a theory and they say like, oh no, that's impossible because this person said this in that episode and now we know it's this. Like, hello, I'm not there yet. Can I just have my moment to theorize based on the knowledge I have right now? Okay, just a couple of notes I made. The skull on the table was from a man known as Killer Giant. I'm not sure if this is important, but I'm making a note just in case. Other names mentioned were King of the Erik Pirates, the famous gunner Silver, and the Kung Fu brothers. I don't know if we're gonna maybe meet them at some point, but obviously we won't meet the Killer Giant because he's dead. I don't know much about Gold Roger at this point, but based on his voice, he sounds like a strong yet kind person. The old man said in the bar that less and less people are daring to go to the Grand Line, and that's the reason why this place will soon be closed. Is he referring to his bar? And why would that directly affect his bar? I'm not exactly sure how that correlates at this point. This is just a screenshot of Luffy saying, I'm gonna be the Pirate King, and I said that I absolutely love and admire Luffy's determination and self-affirmation. I'm actually really surprised that Bird has been quiet this long. I don't know if you guys heard him in the intro of the video, but I'm surprised he's quiet. Maybe he's not hearing me talk. Maybe I'm talking softly enough. I wonder if there's a specific reason why Luffy doesn't drink alcohol. Is it to add to his character's childlike purity? That would be my first guess, but I'm curious as to whether a reason will be given at some point for this adamant choice, like why he doesn't drink at all. I don't drink much, but I will every now and then, although the occasion is very rare these days, especially because I used to only really drink sometimes during live streams, and like I tell everyone like bring a drink, we'll hang out, listen to music, and that would be the only time I'd ever drink. But I don't, now that I can't stream it anymore, haven't drank in ages. And yeah, even before that, like I wouldn't drink a lot. But I do know two people who also, like Luffy, don't drink at all. One person chooses not to drink because his dad was, as far as I'm aware, and his brother is an alcoholic. Whereas the other person I know who doesn't drink at all said that he used to drink a lot when he was younger, but at some point he just decided he's over it and doesn't need that to have fun. There may be more to that person's reason, but I don't know. I'm just saying that there is reason. So I'm wondering, I'm curious as to whether there will be given a specific reason. Did I say that right? I'm just curious as to whether there will be given a specific reason or history for this part of Luffy's character. I hope I said that right. Here's a quote. I think it's from the narrator in this episode. A narrator, I don't know who said that exactly, but inherited will, the destiny of age, the dreams of its people. As long as people continue to pursue the meaning of freedom, these things will never cease. And I feel like this is very important for the story that Oda chose to write. Inherited will, I don't know what that means, but if you guys can send me different translations, that would also be helpful. The destiny of the age, the dreams of its people. As long as people continue to pursue the meaning of freedom, these things will never cease. So this could all be like, each generation, we have different, as a collective international community, we have different needs and wants and desires and motivations. Like Zoro said as well, he said at one point, the world's needs at the time determines people's occupations. For example, a long time ago, there were many, I don't know, I can't think of a good example now, but the same jobs today don't exist as like they did 100 years ago. Jobs come up and disappear, like, compared to what the world needs. Like 100 years ago, there was no such thing as like an influencer, like these people on Instagram that post pictures, and now that job has arisen because the society created that, you know, opportunity based on needs and desires and all these kinds of things. And the destiny of age, like a long time ago, there was a time when it was that age's destiny to invent electricity and start steaming strains and, you know, the technology and stuff of that time. And now our age is Wi-Fi, and like each age, the destiny of the age, like what's our destiny? We're always gonna build on top of what the others did, and it's all in the pursuit of freedom. We all want to be freer. Why do we do these things? Why do we want money? For freedom. Like, we don't want to be bound to any person or anything or we want to be able to spend as freely as we want, to communicate. That's why Wi-Fi and internet gets better and better, because we want to use it more and be freer, you know? Because you invent things because you feel limited in some way and you want to make it easier for yourself. So making something easier means you aren't as limited about what you can do, and that is also a form of freedom. But anyway, so I just really like this quote. I hope we find out someday how Gold Roger was captured. I can't imagine how or why this man was captured. Did he have any special powers? Why was he so successful? Did any of his crew survive, or are they still here today? So many questions. And this is what the person in the crowd said when Gold Roger before he was executed. He screamed from the crowd, "Your one special treasure, One Piece." I don't really understand this. Why is it called your one special treasure? Did people generally have more than one treasure? Did they hide their gold and jewels in different places, so they were referred to as having separate treasure? Like, why did he say your one special treasure? Or was that just a translation? Like, was that not a good translation? Did he just mean everything you've built up as Gold Roger, everything? Like, is there one place? There's so many interpretations of this. I don't doubt that One Piece is a physical treasure, but it has to be more than just gold and jewels. Still, Gold Roger never said that it was at the Grand Line. The person shouting from the crowd was the one that mentioned it specifically. That place could of course refer to the Grand Line. When Gold Roger replied to that man in the crowd, he said, "It's in that place, go get it," or something like that. But the one in the crowd was the one to say Grand Line. So that place could be that place you mentioned, the Grand Line, or it could be that place, a special place to him anywhere. But it could also not. From the information I know thus far, it's at least a possibility that it could be the Grand Line, or it could be anywhere else. Okay, episode 49, Sandai, Kitetsu, and Yubashiri, Zoro's new sword and the female sergeant major. Okay, sorry, my voice is starting to go away from all the talking. Smoker seems like a good guy. When Luffy refused to be arrested and Smoker said, "Then defeat me. If you can't get past me, then you have no hope entering the Grand Line." It was as if he wasn't refusing Luffy's refusal to be arrested, but he wanted to test if Luffy was a pirate worthy of the Grand Line. Maybe Smoker himself wanted to be a pirate. It definitely looked that way when he was a kid, and he looked like he was looking up at Gold Roger, or up to him, when he was walking down the street, but decided instead to become a marine that protects the legacy Gold Roger left behind. Maybe that's what happened. The old man in the bar said this wasn't really the great pirate age, and that although there were many pirates, none had what it takes to actually take on the Grand Line. Maybe Smoker decided to separate the wannabe pirates from the real ones, pirates like Gold Roger. I would be very impressed with myself if this was even close to true, but it's not that unlikely, considering the fact that even while he was fighting Luffy, he was comparing him to Gold Roger. Smoker said he had the pride and ambition of the Pirate King, right down to his last moments. Then he looked at Luffy lying on the ground and said, "You said the Pirate King, don't make me laugh." It really does sound like he's a gatekeeper whose job it is to approve whether or not someone is worthy enough to be in the running to become the Pirate King, you know, like, yeah, I hope this makes sense. Zoro's sword. Okay, back to Zoro. Zoro's sword that he got from Kuina's father is called Wado Ichimonji, Straight Path to Harmony. It is one of the legendary Owaza Mono 21, the 21 great achievements. Tashigi also refers to the legendary Saijo Owaza Mono 12, the Ryowaza Mono 50, and the cursed sword Zoro picks up from the barrel is called Sandai Kitetsu. So many names, so many names. The sword that the shop owner finally decides to give Zoro is one of the Ryowaza Mono 50, and it's called the Yubashiri. I was surprised by his change of heart, the shop owner, and I barely believed it at first, but I'm happy that it seemed to be sincere. So if there's the Owaza Mono 21, the Saijo Owaza Mono 12, and the Ryowaza Mono 50, I wonder if throughout the story we're gonna be introduced to that 21, that 12, and that 50. I wonder, or if it's just, you know, numbers. Actually, as far as I know, someone said that those are real things. So maybe we're not necessarily going to see all the things. Maybe it was just to, you know, give depth and meaning to what Zoro's swords were. You know, they have this legacy attached to them. Okay, so that concludes my notes for episode 46 to 49. Now, I just want to share a personal story and something that I thought about. I've told this story a ton of times before, but I don't think I've ever mentioned it in a One Piece video, so let me just recap. When I was little, I used to read a lot of books. I was really introverted as a kid, and I still am really introverted. I never leave the house. Okay, no, I'm joking. I do leave the house. But I don't go out and, you know, make friends, and like I'd much rather be inside, watch anime, read, make videos. So every school holiday would be made up of me going to the library, picking up a ton of books, and going home and doing the following. I'd read a couple of chapters from one of the books, then I'd get into my closet, sit on top of all of my shoes, close the door, and put my head down on my knees and crossed arms, shut my eyes, and I'd relive the last couple of chapters I read in my mind. So like, I would go sit on all of my shoes, and I'd just like lie down like this, or like this. And the chapters that I had just read, I would see them like a movie playing in my head, but I would put my own character in the story. I'd have like all the other characters doing the same things that they did, but just putting my character in there and then changing it so that those other characters interact with my character and my character has some kind of main role in the story. This main character would be, I guess, a means of living the story as my ideal self in that story. You know how parents sometimes try to live their own dreams through their children? For example, a mom putting her daughter under a lot of pressure to be a pageant girl and take part in tons of competitions, not necessarily because that's what the daughter wants to do, but rather because the mom never had the opportunity to do that herself, and she really wanted to. So now she kind of lives her dreams through her child by giving her child the best opportunities and like getting her all these pretty dresses, even though the child never even showed interest in that. That's probably kind of what I did. But instead of children, I made fictional characters to live out all the dreams I knew I never would. After I watched episode 48 and 49, I started uploading the files for my patrons. I decided I was going to wash my hair and make it blue. While I was lying in the bath, giving my hair some time to soak in the blue color, for the first time in years, I started thinking about what kind of character I would like to put in this story, into the One Piece universe. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want to kind of document the first time I dreamed about this character, because one day I'd actually love to design her and maybe even write some fan fiction, who knows. I don't want to say much about her yet because I still have a lot to think about, and maybe at some point I want to commission someone to draw her for me, although I doubt I'd do that. I'd probably just do it myself. But I'd need to learn more about digital art. I'm worried to describe her in any more detail because I don't want anyone telling me right now why she wouldn't work in the story or what doesn't make sense about her, because I'm still like in the early stages. But let me just say a few things anyway. Damn it, I'm so excited about her. I can't even keep quiet even though I told myself I would. Okay, so then I kept writing. I was like, while I was writing, I was like, no, I shouldn't type anything, but here I go anyway. I want her to be tall and skinny, almost as tall as Zoro. And since Luffy is always talking about finding a musician, I want her to be a singer. I realize by this time in the story where you all are, they've probably already found a musician. But I'll give her some other skills so that she won't be completely useless in the story by the time I meet whoever is going to be Luffy's musician. There's nothing wrong with having two musicians or a musician and a singer on your ship, right? She'll have I want her to have like a heart-shaped face, big eyes and a small sharp nose, soft freckles and really pretty lips, subtle hips. Like I don't want her to be like boom, boom. Like I don't want that. She's supposed to be tall and skinny, and not like a huge chest. So even though I really love like huge, I like characters with big boobs. Like what can I say? Sorry, I don't know how to put that nicely or romantically. I like it. Okay. Her hair should be long and straight. I'm not sure about the color of her eyes or her hair yet. I thought about having a small gap between her front teeth, but I don't know yet. Did I say she should have freckles? But yeah, she should. I think she should definitely have freckles. Long straight hair. I think like a middle part, not like this, but you get what I'm saying. And I'm not sure about having a gap here yet. I think it could look cute, but I don't know. I'll see when I start drawing her. Of course, if she's going to be an ideal One Piece MC in my dream world, okay, she will need an interesting backstory. I do have a good idea for a backstory already, but I'm going to keep this a secret for real for now. But I hope to share it soon. I really want to see if I can make time to draw, I really want to see if I can make time to try and draw her myself, because commissioning a character can be really expensive, and rightfully so, because it would take a lot of time to draw an original character that someone tries to explain for you, and you need to get it like just right. I'd be way too anxious about them not getting it right, and then I have to tell them, and that just stresses me out. So I'll just practice digital art myself, or keep her image in my head until I have the skills to draw her someday. But anyway, for those of you that actually bothered to listen this far, I hope I can someday show you all what my character looks like and tell you about her backstory. I might unconsciously watch One Piece from now on with a tiny piece of my mind dedicated to imagining where my MC would be and how she'd be interacting with the characters, what she'd be saying, what her goals are. Or I'll just fall asleep at night thinking about the episodes I watched and reliving the story like I used to when I was younger. So yeah, I can definitely see myself doing that from now on, and it's definitely a good sign in terms of the anime that the world has drawn me in so much that I actually, like, I didn't actively think about it. I was relaxing in the bath, waiting for my hair to be done, and I started thinking of, like, this character just popped in my head, and I was like, who are you? And then I realized, oh, she could be a One Piece character. Like, it just happened. And I think it would be so fun Because I remember when I was younger, I was in primary school, probably like grade 6, I don't know how old I was. I used to write fan fiction on a fan fiction site. I don't remember the site's name. I remember in a live stream once, I actually found that's one of the things. I remember searching the name. I googled like fan fiction websites, and then I searched the name of the thing I wrote, because I still remember the name of the one thing I wrote, one fan fiction story. Like I started it, I wrote a couple of chapters, but never got very far because I stopped watching anime because I wanted to fit in with the rest of the world. How boring. What a waste of time. Imagine who I could have been if I had never been scared to be myself. Anyway, so yeah, I actually did write fanfiction a long time ago, and maybe one day I'll do a little bit again and just imagine like my own One Piece character, just for fun, and especially like you fall in love with these characters, and like I said before, you wish you could be there with them, but you know you never can. You wish you could do the things they're doing, but you know you never can. Like it's not that I don't believe in a dream. It's just like this is physically not possible, but it's fun. That's why we watch movies, because not all of us, we don't actually want to be superheroes, but isn't it just that living that movie for a minute, being that superhero in your mind for a minute, getting that feeling? That's why we watch movies, because we don't necessarily all want to be superheroes, but just for a moment living in a fantasy world. Fantasy movies like Harry Potter, like why do we watch those things? It's because we don't really think, we don't want to be wizards and have to fight Voldemort and shit, but just for a moment to be in that fantasy world is amazing, and fan fiction is a way of immersing yourself even more in that world, and I think that would be fun. I think that would be really fun. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can flesh out this character a little bit more. I want to design her, and I'll see. Maybe put a little bit of myself in her too, because inevitably, like, that is what these characters sometimes are. Like your own MCs, more often than not, is a part of you. You express yourself through your art after all. So, or people you know, like, but you draw on your own experiences whenever you write something or create something. You always have to draw on your own experiences. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to me. I had so much fun writing these notes. I am so much looking forward to the next episodes. As I mentioned, every time I start like a full reaction for patrons, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited for these episodes. Every single time, because I always am. Okay. Thank you guys again for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.